5 mysterious ancient cities that were built underground. These are just 5 that we mentioned here, but there are so many. Now, the Hopi Indians, the Native Americans, knew that every once in a while the blue star Kachina would be coming around, and that's why they had to have underground dwellings to protect themselves, to survive. This is just one example. Now we have others here. The 5 mysterious ancient cities. Today we live in a world in which everybody is racing to build structures that would seemingly touch the farthest lining in the sky. The skyline of many cities across the globe, bedecked by dozens of towering skyscrapers, which have continued to multiply or are set to be replaced by much taller and larger buildings as the years go by. But societies of men, all the way back to our ancient past, also displayed ability to build great structures, but downwards. Established cities hidden beneath the earth's crust. They say that there's even an ancient, mysterious, secret city underneath the Giza Plateau, underneath the Great Pyramids. Now, going back to this, these underground cities were constructed and used throughout history as shelters during periods of war, as protection from dangers posed by nature, or as sacred locations for a certain civilization's faith and religion. They have also been the subject of many ancient myths and legends, most of which suggest that these subterranean realms hold secrets that would alter our current understanding of the world and its history. And as I'm reading this, I'm also remembering that there are unbelievably huge labyrinths of underground tunnels throughout Europe. I know in Greece there are so many that even the architects, the engineers that go to architectural school, go to visit them, and perhaps some of them even have to have the project of mapping them out. Now, these were used in antiquity in order to flee from incoming invaders, to shuttle their families, their wives and children, to port. The tunnels would lead them to ports where the ships would be waiting to take them to nearby islands for safety. But these tunnels also connect all the way up through Europe, to Scotland. Who built these tunnels? Obviously, they must have been pre-flood. They're huge. Some of them are so huge they can fit a carpet weaving machine, which is about, I don't know, could be 10 feet high. So you can understand how much of a huge task it would have been to excavate the underground areas to create all these tunnels. Now, going back to these underground cities, many of these mysterious underground cities have yet to be rediscovered in modern times, but there are a few whose existence and location are known to us today through their true history and purpose, and are still largely unsolved. Number 1, in Poland, the Wilicka salt mine. The salt mine in Poland, the Wilicka salt mine, this table salt mine situated in the southern Poland town of Wilicka, is popularly referred to as the underground salt cathedral because of its subterranean location and its massive size, occupying over 287 kilometers of the town's land. It was first opened in the 13th century and has continued to produce table salt until commercial mining ceased in 1996 and until operations completely halted in 2007, making it one of the oldest salt mines that remained operational up to the 21st century. But some experts say that exploration and use of the salt deposit in this area dates much earlier than that, possibly around 6,000 years or more, as ancient cemeteries dating all the way back to the Neolithic period have been found in the region by researchers. Today, the Wilicka salt mine is regarded as a National Historic Monument in Poland, not only because of its 700-year legacy of producing salt, but also for the complex tunnels and intricate rock salt carvings inside the facility, including various statues of mythical figures, as well as several chapels which were either created by the salt miners or supplemented by contemporary artists. Its galleries and tunnels extend more than 300 meters underground, and the mine is now a popular tourist site that admits around 1.2 million visitors every year. And then we go to Ethiopia, Lalibela, Ethiopia. The village of Lalibela in Ethiopia, the holy town of Lalibela, located in the heart of Ethiopia, is home to the world's biggest monolithic churches. 11 of these marvelous rock-hewn Christian churches stand in this Ethiopian village, which is why it's no surprise that this subterranean village is regarded as a sacred location by the Ethiopian Orthodox Church, welcoming around 100,000 pilgrims every year. The churches are connected with each other via passageways, and the larger one of them is the House of Medhan, which is more than 30 feet tall, more than 100 feet long, and around 70 feet wide. But the most iconic of the structures in this village is arguably the Church of St. George. It's shaped like a cross. The construction of this sacred site was believed by some to have been supervised by St. George himself. The Lalibela village is regarded as a mysterious underground village for several compelling reasons, and much of the people's fascination is on how the churches were built and why they were constructed in the first place. According to legends, the monolithic churches in Lalibela were excavated around 13th century during the reign of Gebre Meskel Lalibela in Ethiopia. The ruler was allegedly tasked by an angel to build the churches, and in order to immediately finish its construction, men had to work tirelessly day and night with angels to carve the structures out of solid rock. With the two creatures of God working together, legends claim that all the churches in the village were completed in just 24 years. Of course, some archaeologists and other experts find this unlikely, with some arguing that some of the fortifications at the site were several centuries older than the others, having been built way before Lalibela's reign. Number 3 is in France. Naours, France. The underground city of Naours in France. The humble beginnings of this subterranean settlement in northern France date all the way back to the 2nd century, during the domination of the Roman Empire. Back then, the site was nothing more than a limestone quarry, but for the next centuries that came, the locals in the area transformed it into an underground storage facility and hiding place in times of wars and invasions during the Middle Ages. This hidden city of Naours features a network of tunnels that extends around 2 miles and contains more than 300 rooms that could house about 3,000 inhabitants. The underground site eventually transformed into a small city in which wells, stables, chapels, and bakeries were also constructed in order to accommodate the human community secretly living beneath the Earth's surface. According to some experts, the Vikings may have also lived in the underground city when they invaded this part of France in the 9th century. It also proved to be a useful hiding spot when armies of soldiers and mercenaries pillaged and massacred innocents during the deadly 30 Years' War in the 17th century. When Europe became more peaceful and stable, the underground city ultimately no longer served its purpose and was later abandoned and forgotten by the locals. It was rediscovered by a man renovating his home in the 19th century and was utilized in some capacity during the First and Second World War. Today, its elaborate tunnel network has made it a very popular tourist attraction in France. And next we come to Turkey, Derinkuyu. The Derinkuyu in Turkey, this ancient city concealed underneath the Derinkuyu district in Turkey's Nevşehir province, is deemed as the largest underground complex in the country, extending around 200 feet underneath the Earth's surface and occupying an area of around 7,000 square feet. It's one of many subterranean structures found in the historical Cappadocia region and is believed to have been first developed by an ancient Indo-European people known as the Phrygians around 18th and 17th century, 8th and 7th century BC. But experts are not in total agreement on who exactly constructed the Derinkuyu and when they had built it, with some suggestion that the multi-level ancient underground city may have already existed before 1200 BC. Derinkuyu has 18 levels, though only a few of them are currently accessible today since it was rediscovered in the 1960s. It was a fully functional metropolis that was capable of accommodating and sustaining as many as 20,000 residents. Not only were there dozens of ventilation shafts that distributed air all over this underground city, it also contained rooms of various sizes that served different purposes. Researchers that excavated the site found sleeping quarters, bathrooms, kitchens, food and weapon storage, and public areas like schools and churches. The city also had tombs, which seemed to suggest that people intended to sustain life below the ground through several generations. It's also believed that there is an undisclosed tunnel that connects Derinkuyu to another underground city near Kaimakli, alluding to the possibility that these concealed civilizations had contact and cooperated with each other. And then you have Petra in Jordan. The ancient caravan city of Petra in Jordan. For several centuries, this historical city was deemed as lost to Western civilizations until its rediscovery by a Swiss explorer named Johann Ludwig Burckhardt back in the early part of the 19th century. The site is referred to as Petra, the Greek word for rock, because this ancient city is carved directly into sandstone rock. Some archaeological experts believe that it was occupied by an ancient civilization more than 9,000 years ago. Various tribes over the years that passed came and went to inhabit the area, including the Nabateans, who made it a trading post and the capital of their empire between 400 BC and 106 AD. Rome took possession of the city sometime after an earthquake and decline of international trade in the area led to its eventual abandonment in the 7th century AD. At the ancient city's height, Petra may have accommodated as many as 20,000 people, and it contained houses, temples, theaters, tombs, and elaborate transport and irrigation systems that allowed the locals of the area to thrive as a community. Excavations of the underground city is still in progress, and according to archaeologist Zeydoun al-Mahis of Yarmouk University in Jordan, only 15% of the city has been uncovered, with the vast majority of it still concealed underground and untouched. One of the iconic structures in Petra is the treasury, or the Al-Khazneh, the ancient temple carved out of 130 feet of sandstone rock face. And you may have seen this particular edifice in adventure film Indiana Jones and The Last Crusade, in which the protagonist was searching for the mythical Holy Grail. Though its connection to this Christian relic is fictional, some believe that Petra may have been the actual site where Moses hit a rock using a staff, bringing forth water to the Israelites when they left Egypt. Some also think that hidden treasures can be uncovered in the treasury, and many tombs were looted by thieves in an effort to find these treasures. This is on Beyond Science TV. If you'd like to join me on my Patreon account, you will hear content not covered by mainstream media. These riveting stories will be based on my research, and I will state my opinions and give my personal insight on diverse and controversial subjects and world events not covered by mainstream media, and not supported by YouTube guidelines. So whatever I have on my Patreon, most of those will not be on my YouTube channel. Please consider becoming a member today. More of the most significant and important videos will be on my Patreon channel. Your support helps me to continue my research and keeps this YouTube channel alive. And we depend on your support, your generous charity, because we help economically challenged families here in Athens, Greece, in Kapota, and we also help the young generation with university tuition and the community around our church. Thank you.